Hi guys, so today we're going to be reviewing my Oreck magnesium model LW100. This machine was made in 2013. The newer model to this is the LW100. The LW1500 series of the Oreck magnesium. And that machine has an extra feature, which I'll show. The base is gray, and it has a handle switch, but the handle switch has a battery in it, which isn't the best thing because you have to change that battery in the handle every so often so you could turn on the vacuum because it's like Bluetooth connected, something like that. And the newest model to this Oreck magnesium of the same style, but again different colors, is the Oreck Discover. So this review will basically apply to all three of those models of the vacuum. So let's get into the features that comes with this machine. The main feature of this vacuum is that you have a lifetime belt. So you never have to change the belt in this vacuum. If you suck up something that you can't, which I'll demonstrate here in a little bit, this light will blink at you, the vacuum will shut off, you remove the object, turn it off, turn it right back on, you're back in business. So that's the main selling point of this vacuum, probably, is the lifetime belt and the feature of the lifetime belt. So you get on the other side of the machine, you have balancing marks in the brusher, which is nice. You have fairly stiff bristles, stiff enough to clean the carpet well enough. You have a bare floor squeegee not to scatter dirt. As I was showing the pickup test, it's not really that effective. You have rubberized wheels. These wheels are rubber. They're kind of cheap feeling. I don't know how this will hold up. I don't use this machine much, so I don't know. But I'm not really a fan of this wheel kind of setup, or the fan of how this head looks. Maybe they just tried to cut down on weight since they didn't, fill in marks in this head. They just kind of left it open, but I don't like that. And when this machine sold, I don't know how much this machine sold for in 2013, but the newest model of this is $599, retails for full price. So it's a pretty hefty price, especially that you don't really get much with this vacuum, and you pay that. You don't really get a bumper. This is just kind of soft plastic, which isn't really going to do much anyway. And you get these cheap open marks in this vacuum that I'm not a fan of. If you want to ever change the belt, if something ever happens to the belt, which it shouldn't, you take, I don't know, pliers, whatever, and you twist this way. This comes off. When you put it back on, you want to line it up, then you want to close it back up this way to do this. You have a very big bag in this machine. It is huge. You can fill it up all the way up to here. To change the bag, I'm not going to show, but there's a pull mark. You pull the bag off, you lift it off, the bag will self-seal. You slide out a new bag, and then you snap it in place. And you have a nice, huge HEPA bag in here. I'm going to put a link in the description to these bags. They're about $20 for a 6-pack from what I saw on Amazon and from what I bought, which is pretty cheap for 6 huge HEPA bags. That should last you about a whole year of worth of bags. If this is your only machine, you'll be fine. So $20 a year to keep a bag vacuum running is very cheap. You have a 30 or 35 foot power cord. I don't know which one it is, 30 or 35 feet. And you have a nice swivel cord hug on here, which is nice feature with the vacuum. One thing I don't like about this machine, and I'm also going to point out another con here, is the handle on here. I don't like it. It's very cheap feeling. You could kind of bend it or twist it. It's supposed to be made of magnesium to cut down on the weight. That's why it's called the Oreck magnesium. But I don't like this handle. It's not really any carrying handles on this vacuum besides here. And you're supposed to use this as a carrying handle, which isn't really a handle. It's just a tube where all the dirt goes up to. It'd be nice to have like a handle cut out like on the newer or Concords and Elevates. The power switch is another con because I don't like it. When you turn on the vacuum, it goes to high speed. And then when you press it again, it goes to low speed, and then you turn it off. So you can't just turn it off right away. Like on the Recaro models, the R10S and the R10P have a high speed this way. Then you have an off in the middle, then you have a low speed. So you could turn it off right away instead of switching through the power speeds. And with this one, it takes a minute for it to get into high speed and then to low speed and then to off. So that's one con I don't like about this machine. But otherwise, it's a nice, decent vacuum. So now let's get into the pickup test and see how this machine does. But before that, I will demonstrate the lifetime belt. So let's say you're vacuuming under your bed or something and you suck something up on accident. Let's see what the vacuum does. There we go, it turns off on you, the light blinks at you. So you want to remove the object just by simply pulling it out. And then you want to turn off the vacuum. Then you want to turn it right back on. And you're back in business. Nice feature of the vacuum. I'm going to be doing the pickup test. I put down some flour, some salt, and some fresh cat hair. I'm going to do a forward and back pass and see how this Oreck does. I'm going to be running it in high speed. One thing I don't like about this is when you have to turn it off, you have to go through the low speed and then you got to turn it off. So that's one con of it that I don't like about it. But anyway, let's see how it did. I got all the cat hair. There's a few pieces of salt. And just a tiny bit of flour I could feel on my fingers. Otherwise, it did pretty exceptional. Having a little bit of war down brush roll. So now I'm going to set up the floor pickup test. We're going to see how this thing does on the bare floors. I'm going to be doing the floor pickup test. I have the same test down. I'm going to be using it on low speed. And let's see how it does. Okay. So it did scatter a few pieces of salt. Got almost all of the flour, got the cat hair, and did fling back a few pieces, I see. But it did okay on the floors. I wouldn't recommend it if this is your only vacuum for floor cleaning. So overall, this vacuum is a decent machine. Although if you find it used, I would buy it under $200. But for the Oreck Discover, the newest model of this vacuum, $600 is just way too much to spend on this. You could get other better machines for that price. But if you do ever see this thing as a thrift store or on a used market, it's a fairly good condition, I would pick it up. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.